The only true barrier to your success lies in how deeply you focus on your own personal growth. If you truly desire to achieve something extraordinary, everything begins with one simple yet powerful action: focusing on yourself. Too many people waste their precious time chasing after fleeting goals, measuring their progress against others, and hoping that success will simply come to them without much effort. But here's the truth: life doesn't work that way. The path to true success isn't about sitting back and waiting for opportunities to magically appear. It's about blocking out all distractions, taking charge of your own destiny, and committing to doing the work day after day. In this video, we'll show you that the real key to unlocking everything you've ever dreamed of isn't about waiting for the perfect moment or relying on anyone else. It's about putting yourself first, focusing on your growth, and relentlessly pushing forward, regardless of the circumstances. Success doesn't arrive on a silver platter. It comes when you make a commitment to yourself and to your goals. Today isn't just any other day. Today is the day you decide to start winning. When you finish watching this video, you'll have all the tools you need to begin building the life you deserve, one step at a time. It's your time, your focus, and your success on the line. Let's dive in. Number 1, personal discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Imagine realizing that your life is entirely in your hands. You hold the power to shape your future. Gone are the days of blaming others, pointing fingers, or waiting around for someone else to come and fix things for you. The moment you take full responsibility for your own future, everything begins to change. The truth is simple. Your future doesn't depend on what others think of you or what they give you. It depends entirely on what you do. This realization is the first step toward a powerful transformation. And if you're serious about changing your life, the very first thing you need to develop is personal discipline. Without it, nothing else truly matters. You can have big dreams, grand ideas, and motivation in abundance, but without discipline, none of it will last. Discipline is what transforms fleeting thoughts and good intentions into tangible results. Unfortunately, many people never realize this because they're too busy searching for shortcuts or waiting for inspiration to strike. But here's the hard truth. The version of you that succeeds in life isn't someone who just wakes up one day magically changed. No, it's the result of 1,000 small decisions, made day in and day out. It's built in your daily habits, how you handle the dull, unexciting days, how you push yourself forward even when nobody is watching. It's not about performing a grand act once in a while. It's about committing to the right actions over and over again, long after the initial excitement has worn off. Success isn't based on how you feel. It's based on what you do. And what you do day after day comes down to your level of discipline. Now let's clear something up. Discipline doesn't mean being overly harsh with yourself. It's about being committed, sticking to your word, and honoring your promises. If you say you're going to wake up early, you do it. If you commit to working out, you show up. If you promised yourself that you'd study, then you sit down and do it. That's discipline. It's not glamorous. It's not flashy. But it's the foundation of success. People love watching success from a distance because it's exciting, it's inspiring. But most aren't willing to embrace the process behind it. They crave the rewards, but they shy away from the repetition that builds the foundation for those rewards. They admire the end result, but avoid the structure that created it. That's the key difference between dreamers and doers. A doer understands that success isn't something you wish for. It's something you work for every single day. Discipline is how you make it happen. Building on what we've discussed, remember that discipline is the key. It's the bridge that connects where you are right now to where you want to be. But what happens when you face resistance? When it feels like progress is slow or you're stuck in a rut? Let's talk about that. If you're struggling right now, feeling tired, frustrated, or just plain stuck, I want you to hear this clearly. it's not because you're not good enough. It's not because you're lacking in potential or ability. The real reason you're feeling this way is because you're not consistent with your discipline. That's where the focus needs to be. Before you chase after the next opportunity, before you try a new idea, fix your discipline first. Before you jump to something new, ask yourself this question: am I really giving my best every single day to the life I claim to want? Most people are waiting for a breakthrough, for that big, life-changing moment. But here's the reality. The real breakthrough doesn't come from waiting around. It comes when you stop negotiating with your excuses. The breakthrough happens when you decide, once and for all, that no matter how you feel, you will do what you said you would do. No more delays, no more shortcuts, no more waiting for the perfect moment. When you make that decision, that's when momentum starts building. Trust in yourself begins to return. You start to feel proud of yourself, not because of the results, yet, but because you finally showed up for yourself. Discipline is the bridge to everything you want in life. Without it, you're stuck on the wrong side of your goals. With it, everything becomes possible. Sure, it might not be fast. It might not be easy, but it will be real, and that's what you truly want. You don't want temporary motivation. You want real, lasting transformation. You want the kind of life that stands the test of time, the kind of strength that doesn't fade after the first challenge. And that kind of life is built by doing the work even when it's not exciting, even when you'd rather do something else. Pay attention to your habits. Think about how you wake up in the morning, what you do with your free time, how you treat your body, and how you manage your emotions. All of these things matter. Because here's the truth. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your discipline. If your discipline is weak, your results will be weak too. There's no getting around that. But here's the good news. Discipline isn't just about achieving something. It's also about becoming someone. Every time you show up, even when it's hard, you build character. Every time you follow through on your commitments, you build confidence. Every time you say no to distractions, you strengthen your focus. These are the things that matter in the long run. It's not just about what you're doing today, it's about who you're becoming through the process. You won't feel like it every day. That's just how life works. But remember, your job isn't to wait until you feel ready. Your job is to train yourself to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. This is the difference between those who win and those who stay stuck. Winners don't need perfect conditions. They don't need the applause or the validation from others. They just need to make a decision. And once they decide, they follow through. Do you want to win? Then train yourself to stick to your plan, even when nobody else is watching. Because here's the truth. Discipline doesn't make life harder. It makes life clearer. When you have discipline, you stop second guessing yourself. You stop looking for quick fixes. You know exactly what you're doing, and more importantly, you know why you're doing it. That's when life starts to feel lighter. Not because things got easier, but because you got stronger. Every area of your life is affected by your level of discipline. Your health, your finances, your time, your energy, and even your relationships. All of these things are shaped by your discipline. If your discipline is sloppy, you'll feel it in every part of your life. But if you start tightening it up, you'll begin to see change. Slowly at first, but then faster. And as you begin to take back control, you'll realize something important. This is how you win. It's not about being perfect, but about being consistent. It's not about doing everything, but about doing the right things every day. And it's not about impressing others. It's about respecting yourself enough to stay committed. No one's coming to push you. No one's coming to hold your hand. The only person who can do this for you is you. Picking up from where we left off, remember, discipline is the bridge. Now, it's time to face the truth that you are your own biggest challenge. If you're serious about making a change, it's time to decide. How bad do you want it? How committed are you to transforming your life? Because the only person who can push you forward is you. Stop looking around, stop comparing yourself to others, and stop waiting for the perfect moment. It's time to show up for yourself. Discipline has power. There's pride in knowing that you followed through, that you stayed true to your commitment even when it was hard. And on the other side of it, there's freedom. The kind of freedom that only comes when you know you're doing what it takes to become the person you were. Always meant to be, so block out the noise. Don't focus on what others are doing. Don't focus on what's trending or what might look easy. Focus on you, and keep your eyes fixed on that one goal until you've won. Not halfway, not sometimes, but all the way through. And when you get there, when you finally look back at the work you've put in, you'll realize something profound. It wasn't luck. It wasn't handed to you. It wasn't easy. But it was worth it, because you earned it. And that's the kind of success that nobody can take away from you. Now, number 2, focus on small progress every day. This is where the real power lies. You want to build a life that matters, a future so solid that people will stop and say, "How did they do it?" It starts with this. Begin right where you are, with what you have, and focus on doing one small thing today that moves you forward. That's it. It's not about doing everything at once. It's not about achieving perfection. It's just about that one small action that propels you forward. That's where the true power is. But here's what most people miss. They're always chasing the big leap, the sudden change, the magical solution that transforms their life overnight. But the truth is, the big leap doesn't happen until you've stacked up so many small steps that eventually they create a breakthrough. And yes, it doesn't look exciting at first. It's not flashy. It doesn't come with fanfare or applause. But that's the beauty of it. It's real, it's sustainable, and that's what actually changes your life. People love transformations. They scroll through highlights before and after, photos, success stories. They admire the finish line, but what they don't see is the slow, often boring grind that got them there. They don't see the early mornings that didn't seem worth it, the workouts that didn't show immediate results, or the business ideas that fell flat until one finally clicked. They miss the process. And because they don't see the process, they think they're doing something wrong when their life doesn't change in a week. But here's the truth. The difference between those who make it and those who don't is not about intelligence, talent, or luck. It's about the ability to keep showing up every single day, no matter how small the win, no matter how insignificant it may seem. It's about choosing to keep going when everyone else might quit. Let me say this clearly. Big goals are great. Dream big, aim high. But don't confuse the dream with the strategy. The dream is the image in your mind, the destination you want to reach. But the strategy is what you do every day. And that's the part most people skip over. They want to climb the mountain, but they don't want to take the steps. Here's the kicker. The strength you need to climb the mountain is built in the steps. It's in the discipline of doing the little things, the unseen things, when no one is watching. It's in the effort to be just 1% better today than you were yesterday. If you can commit to that small daily progress, you won't even recognize yourself in a few months. We live in a world that praises quick results, fast money, fast fixes. But here's the thing. Anything that comes fast can leave just as fast. The things that last, the kind of life that's built from the ground up, take consistency. And consistency isn't about making giant changes in a single day. It's about refusing to quit. It's about showing up, doing something, no matter how small, that proves to yourself that you're serious about the direction you're heading. As we continue on this journey, remember that it's the small actions, those seemingly insignificant choices, that truly shape our futures. So let's dive into how those little things make all the difference. Don't underestimate the power behind the small things in life. Waking up on time, drinking more water, reading a few pages of a book, making that one phone call, saying no to distractions that pull you backward, and showing up for your goals even when you don't feel like it. These actions matter. They seem small, yes, but they stack. Each one builds on the next. You might not feel any shift today or even this week, but trust me, if you stay consistent, you'll reach a point where momentum takes over. And when momentum kicks in, everything starts to change faster than you ever imagined. But here's the key. You don't get momentum by wishing for it. You earn it day by day by planting the seeds, no matter how empty the ground seems at first. You keep showing up even when the results aren't immediate. The truth is, most people never realize that your future doesn't arrive all at once. It creeps up on you. It reveals itself through the little decisions, your habits, and your attitude. It's built one choice at a time, one effort at a time. You don't build confidence by waiting until you feel ready. Confidence is built by taking small actions that prove to yourself that you can keep going. Confidence doesn't just fall from the sky. It's something that is earned piece by piece every time you do what you said you would do. And it starts with the small things. You don't need a total life overhaul right now. You don't need to solve everything today. What you really need is to stop quitting on yourself. Every time progress feels slow, every time you're not where you want to be, you have to remind yourself, don't give up. Remember, everyone starts somewhere. Everyone stumbles. Everyone gets discouraged. But not everyone keeps going. If you keep going, you separate yourself from the 90% of people who give up too soon. And here's the beautiful part. You don't need motivation every day. What you need is discipline. Motivation is a feeling, and feelings are unreliable. But discipline is a decision. Discipline says, I don't feel like it today, but I'm doing it anyway. And the moment you start doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it, you become dangerous. You take control. You stop being a slave to emotion and become a leader in your own life. That's what it means to take charge. Let's be real. You don't need more information. You already know what you should be doing. You don't need another podcast, another book, or another course. What you need is action. Small, daily action. That's the difference between people who dream and people who do. And don't get me wrong, learning is powerful, but learning without action is just a distraction. Stop using preparation as a way to delay execution. Start now, start messy, and figure it out as you go. Here's what will happen. Time will pass, whether you act or not. But if you decide today that every day from here on out, you will do something, no matter how small, to move you closer to your goal, then time starts working for you. 6 months of small progress will always beat 6 months of waiting for the perfect plan. A year of consistent effort will always outperform a year of stopping, starting, and second-guessing yourself. The things you're doing today might not seem like much, but they're the foundation for everything you'll build later. Every small choice you make is either pulling you forward or holding you back. There's no neutral. You're either growing or you're stalling. And if you're growing, even slowly, you're winning. Don't let someone else's timeline rush you. Don't get discouraged if things feel slow. Slow is still progress. And progress, no matter how small, is still progress. The only time you're truly stuck is when you stop. If you're still moving forward, if you're still showing up, even on the tough days, you're not stuck. You're simply in the middle, and the middle is where the magic happens. The middle is where you're shaping yourself, where you're building the momentum that will carry you forward. So today, make the choice to do something, anything, one small win, and then do it again tomorrow. Stack those wins, one after the other. Stack them until one day you look around and realize your life has transformed in ways you never expected. It will look completely different from the one you started with. But here's the key. You don't need to wait for the new year or the next Monday or even next week. The power lies in the progress you make today. The life you've been dreaming of is not out there somewhere. It's right here, right now, in the small actions you take today. And it all starts with what you do today. Keep going. Keep showing up. Your future self is watching, and you're building the foundation of your success one day at a time. Now, moving into the next essential component of success, emotional control. Emotional control is a core part of staying focused. It's not just about keeping your eyes on the prize. It's about learning to manage the internal noise, the feelings and thoughts that can distract you from your goals. The world has a way of pulling your attention in every direction. If you're not careful, you'll find yourself caught up in emotional reactions that steer you off course. But here's where emotional control comes in. It's one of the most powerful skills you can develop if you want to stay focused and keep pushing toward your goals, especially when life gets complicated. Emotions are incredibly powerful, but they can also be incredibly misleading. We're often taught that emotions are these uncontrollable forces that guide us through life. We hear, "follow your heart," or "trust your gut." While there is some truth to this, emotions can easily lead us astray if we don't pay attention to them. Think about it for a moment. How many times have you made a decision purely based on how you felt in the moment, only to regret it later? It's all too easy to let your emotions take the wheel and guide your decisions. But when you're chasing something big, something that requires sustained effort, focus, and perseverance, you have to learn to take control of your emotions. Here's the thing. Emotional control doesn't mean suppressing your feelings. It's not about pretending that you don't feel frustrated, angry, or scared. Instead, it's about learning how to manage those emotions in a way that doesn't derail your focus or lead to impulsive reactions. When you're emotionally reactive, it's like being on a roller coaster. One minute you're up, full of excitement and energy, and the next, you're crashing down, overwhelmed by a setback. Emotional volatility can make you feel like you're always at the mercy of your emotions. Small wins feel amazing, but one setback can feel like the end of the world. That constant emotional roller coaster makes it hard to make steady progress. The key to real growth is learning to steady your emotional state, staying calm and composed no matter what life throws at you. So how do you start gaining emotional control? It all begins with awareness. You have to be aware of how you're feeling before you can do anything about it. This means paying attention to your emotions, whether you're feeling stressed, angry, anxious, or even overly excited throughout the day. Most people don't notice these emotional signals creeping in until they've already taken over. But the key to staying focused and calm is catching those feelings before they hijack your thoughts and actions. Once you become aware of your emotions, the next step is acknowledging them without judgment. Emotions themselves aren't inherently good or bad. They are simply signals. They give us information about what's happening inside our minds and bodies. For example, if you're feeling frustrated, it might be because you're facing a challenge that's more difficult than you expected. If you're feeling anxious, it could be because you're stepping into the unknown and your brain is wired to seek safety. Whatever the emotion is, it's important to pause and ask yourself, what is this feeling telling me? And how can I use this to help me stay on track? Here's the crucial part. Emotional control doesn't mean suppressing your emotions. It's not about pretending that they don't exist or that they aren't affecting you. It's about stepping back and responding thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. How you respond to your emotions is what will either keep you on track or throw you off course. When you're in control of your emotions, you don't let them dictate your behavior. Instead, you make decisions based on your goals, not on your immediate emotional state. Let's say, for example, you're working on a big project and things aren't going as smoothly as you'd hoped. Maybe you've put in hours of work and nothing seems to be clicking. You start feeling frustrated. Your natural reaction might be to quit, to throw in the towel and think, this isn't worth it. But if you've developed emotional control, you'll recognize that frustration is a temporary feeling, not a permanent state. You'll take a deep breath, calm yourself, and then ask, what's the next step I can take to move this forward? It's in those moments of frustration where most people fail. They let the emotion overwhelm them, and they give up just before the breakthrough. But when you have emotional control, you can keep going. even when things get tough. And here's where it gets interesting. When you learn to control your emotions, you become more resilient. You stop being dependent on external circumstances to feel good or stay motivated. You no longer wait for the perfect conditions, the right mood, or the ideal situation to take action. Instead, you learn to take action, no matter how you feel. Success isn't about waiting for everything to be perfect. It's about doing what needs to be done, even when the conditions aren't ideal. Let me give you another example. Maybe you're working toward a goal and everything is going great. You're making progress. Then something happens that knocks you off course. A relationship problem, a financial setback, or even just a rough day. Your emotions start to spiral. You might feel overwhelmed or even a bit hopeless. But here's the thing. Emotional control allows you to recognize that this is just a moment in time. Your circumstances don't define you. Your response to those circumstances is what will determine whether you move forward or stay stuck. When you practice emotional control, you start to realize that you always have a choice in every situation. You can choose to stay focused, keep your eyes on the prize, and push through the tough times. Or you can let your emotions dictate your actions and derail your progress. The choice is always yours. Now, here's the real game changer. Emotional control actually strengthens your focus. Think of it like building a muscle. The more you practice, the stronger you get at staying focused in the face of distractions. Your brain becomes trained to focus on the task at hand, instead of getting caught up in every emotional wave that comes your way. Once you stop reacting to every setback and instead learn to stay steady, you're no longer at the mercy of your emotions. You learn how to move forward, no matter what life throws your way. And this is when your productivity skyrockets. You become more consistent, more reliable, and more efficient in everything you do. No more wasting time on emotional roller coasters. You're simply moving forward, one step at a time. That consistency, that ability to keep going even when things get tough, is the key to success. It's the difference between someone who quits after a few setbacks and someone who keeps going until they reach their goal. At the end of the day, emotional control is about making the decision to stay focused on what matters most. It's about showing up every single day, even when the emotions aren't perfect, and doing the work that needs to be done. It's about refusing to let your feelings dictate your future. And once you learn how to do that, there's truly no limit to what you can accomplish. Now let's talk about something that often surprises people when they start their journey of growth. Growth feels lonely. This part of the process is something many don't expect. When you start striving for something greater, you might think that the more you progress, the more people will join you on the path, cheering you on, celebrating your victories. But in reality, growth often feels like a lonely road. The more you strive for something extraordinary, the more you find yourself separating from the crowd. You separate from the average, from what's easy, and from what's comfortable. This separation is a critical part of personal development. It's what sets you apart from everyone else, and it's the reason why most people don't achieve what you're aiming for. It's the key difference between those who remain average and those who rise above. The masses are comfortable and they follow the same routines, the same patterns, the same habits day in and day out. It's predictable, it's safe, and it's easy. But if you want to grow, if you want to achieve something extraordinary, you have to step out of that comfort zone. You have to break away from the cycle of doing what everyone else is doing. And this is where the loneliness sets in. The more you distance yourself from the average, the fewer people you'll find walking the same path. Growth requires you to go against the grain, to make choices that others might not understand. It's like climbing a mountain. The higher you climb, the fewer people you'll find around you. But that's what makes the view from the top so special. It's tough, isn't it? Watching others live in the same old routine, having the same conversations, doing the same things day after day while you're pushing yourself towards something bigger. It's normal to feel that loneliness creeping in. You'll feel isolated because you're working harder, thinking deeper, and enduring things others aren't willing to face. But here's the thing. That's exactly what makes you different. That's what sets you apart. The loneliness you feel isn't a sign that you're doing something wrong. It's a sign that you're doing something right. Think about it for a second. Everyone is searching for the easy path, the shortcut to success, the comfortable route that requires no effort or sacrifice. As we've seen, success isn't about blending in with the average. It's about standing out, taking the road less traveled, and doing the work that most others are unwilling to do. Let's dive deeper into what this really means for you. True success doesn't come from following the crowd. It comes from separating yourself from the distractions, the bad habits, and the mindset that keeps people stuck in mediocrity. The reason it feels lonely at times is that you're doing the hard work that others aren't willing to do. You're focusing on things that the majority simply won't focus on, and that focus is what will eventually lead you to success. Yes, it's tough. It's hard to see others living life carefree while you're over here working, grinding, studying, and pushing yourself past what feels comfortable. But here's the thing. If you can push through that loneliness, if you can continue to embrace the discomfort and keep going, you will come out on the other side stronger and more capable than you ever imagined. Think of it like training for a big race. At first, the training is grueling. You're out there running, sweating, feeling sore, while everyone else is relaxing on the couch, enjoying their day. But as you keep pushing through, you start to feel stronger. Your body adapts, your mind sharpens, and eventually you cross that finish line with a sense of accomplishment that those who never put in the work will never know. Now here's the most important part of this entire process. It's not about external validation. It's not about waiting for praise or celebrations for every little victory along the way. The true reward is about what you're becoming in the process, the discipline, the mindset, the strength you're building by separating yourself from the average. That's the real prize. The people still stuck in their same old routines might never fully understand what you're doing or why you're doing it, but that's okay. You don't need their approval. You don't need to fit into their mold. You're building something far greater than their limited perspectives can ever grasp. Yes, I know the loneliness can feel heavy sometimes. You'll question yourself. You might even wonder, why does it feel like no one else is on this journey with me? But let me assure you, the more you lean into that discomfort, the more you embrace that sense of separation, the stronger you will become. In those moments of solitude, you're learning to rely on yourself. You're learning to trust your ability to push through obstacles, overcome challenges, and stay focused on your goals. It's in these moments, when you feel alone, that you start to learn who you really are. Those are the moments that reveal your true potential. But don't be fooled into thinking this loneliness is permanent. It's not. It's just a phase you go through on the way to something greater. As you continue to grow and evolve, you'll start to notice something beautiful happening. The people who truly matter, the ones who understand your journey, will begin to show up. You'll start attracting like-minded individuals who share your vision, your drive, and your determination. And when those connections happen, they'll be so much more meaningful because they'll be based on mutual respect, not just superficial pleasantries. The loneliness you feel now is simply preparing you for the relationships and opportunities that will elevate you to even greater heights. Remember this: growth requires sacrifice. It requires you to make choices that others aren't willing to make. It means walking away from things that no longer serve you, even if they seem comforting or familiar. But the price you pay for that growth? It's more than worth it. As we've seen, embracing loneliness and separation from the average is a necessary part of growth. But what truly sets you apart isn't just the struggle, it's the standards you hold for yourself. When you stop following the crowd and start forging your own path, you quickly realize that your potential has no limits. Yes, the loneliness, the sacrifice, the struggle, it's all part of the process. And when you look back on your journey, you'll see that it was these very challenges that set you apart from everyone else. So, instead of running from the discomfort, embrace it. Embrace the loneliness because it's a sign that you're doing something others aren't willing to do. Trust me, that's what will make all the difference in the end. You're not just building a future for yourself. You're creating a life that most people can only dream of. So keep going. Keep separating yourself from the average and keep pushing yourself to grow. The road may feel lonely, but the destination will be worth every single step. Now, let's dive into the power of high standards. High standards aren't harsh. In fact, they are a clear sign of self-respect. When you set high standards for yourself, it might feel like you're setting a bar that's impossible to reach. Others might even look at you and think you're being too hard on yourself. But let me tell you this, high standards are not about being tough on yourself. They're about showing yourself the respect you truly deserve. Think about it this way. If you don't set standards for yourself, if you don't demand excellence from yourself, how can you ever expect to rise above the ordinary? How can you ever expect to achieve something remarkable? People often misunderstand this idea. They assume that having high standards means you're being critical or judgmental of yourself, that you're being unfair. But in reality, high standards are simply a reflection of self-respect. You're telling yourself, I know I can do better. I deserve more than just getting by. And that's where real growth starts. When you stop settling for the average and start pushing yourself to be better, you're making a commitment to yourself. It's a commitment that says, I am worth the effort. I am worth the struggle. It's easy to get comfortable with doing just enough to get by, to feel like this is good enough. But deep down, you know it's not. You know you're capable of more. You know that greatness is within your reach if you're willing to put in the work. Here's the catch. A lot of people are afraid to set high standards because they fear failure. They fear that they won't live up to their own expectations. But here's something to remember. Failure is part of the process. It's not a reason to lower your standards. It's actually the reason to keep going, to keep striving, and to keep learning. When you set high standards for yourself, you're not claiming that you'll be perfect every time. What you're saying is that no matter what, you'll give it your best effort and you'll keep pushing yourself every single day. Setting high standards forces you to step up, to confront your weaknesses, and to face your fears. It doesn't give you room to make excuses or take shortcuts, and that's exactly what you need if you want to grow. Growth doesn't happen when you're comfortable. It happens when you step outside of your comfort zone, when you challenge yourself, when you demand more from yourself than you've ever done before. That's when the real transformation begins. High standards don't just push you to achieve more, they push you to become more. When you set high standards for yourself, you're also setting the stage for success. You're building the mindset of someone focused on excellence, driven by a vision, and willing to do whatever it takes to make that vision a reality. You're not settling for mediocrity. You're saying, I want the best for my life. I want to live at a level that most people only dream of. And that kind of thinking, that kind of commitment, is exactly what separates the average from the extraordinary. What kind of person do you want to be? Do you want to be the one who just goes through the motions, doing what everyone else is doing, taking the easy way out? Or do you want to be the person who stands out, sets the bar high, takes risks, and goes after what they want with everything they've got? The people who are willing to set high standards and demand excellence from themselves are the ones who rise to the top. They're the ones who achieve greatness because they refuse to settle for less than what they deserve. But here's the catch. Setting high standards isn't just about what you expect from yourself. It's also about what you're willing to accept from others. When you set high standards for yourself, you start attracting people with high standards too. You stop tolerating toxic relationships, people who bring you down, or those who aren't on the same level as you. Instead, you start surrounding yourself with people who lift you up, who challenge you, and who inspire you to be better. And that's where the magic happens. When you raise your standards, you raise the standards of the people around you. You start building a network of like-minded individuals, People who are all working toward the same goal, striving for greatness, and pushing each other to be the best version of themselves. That's the power of high standards. It's contagious, but let's be real, it's not always easy. Setting high standards can be tough, especially when you're used to the comfort of low expectations. The discomfort you feel is normal. It's part of the process. But remember, that discomfort is temporary. The more you push yourself, the stronger you become. The more you challenge yourself, the more resilient you get. When you look back on your journey, you'll see that it was worth every moment of discomfort, every struggle, every setback. It was in those moments that you built the resilience, the discipline, and the mindset that will carry you through anything life throws your way. Think about the people you admire, the people who inspire you. Are they the ones who settle for average, who do just enough to get by? Are they the ones who take the easy route? Or are they the ones who set high standards for themselves, who push through adversity, who never give up, no matter how tough the journey becomes? The people we admire, the ones who inspire us, are the ones who raised their own standards and showed the world what it means to live with purpose, passion, and commitment. So, the next time you feel like lowering your standards or settling for less, remember this: you are worth the effort. You are worth the sacrifice. You are worth pushing through the challenges, facing your fears, and stepping outside your comfort zone. High standards are not about being perfect. They're about striving for the best version of yourself, and that's what you should always aim for. The road may be difficult, but the destination? It's worth every ounce of energy you put into it. Keep setting those high standards. Keep challenging yourself. Keep raising the bar. Because when you do, you're not just achieving success, you're creating a life that reflects your true potential. As we've discussed, success isn't about competing with the world. It's about competing with the person in the mirror. Let's dive into how this mindset shift can completely transform your approach to growth and success. The truth is, the only real competition you'll ever face is the one that happens in front of the mirror every single day. So many people get caught up in comparing themselves to others, to the point where they forget the most important thing. The person they should be competing with is themselves. The moment you start comparing your progress to someone else's, you've already lost. Their journey is not yours, and their timeline is not your timeline. No matter how far along they seem to be, that's their path, not yours. Your race is against yourself, and that's where the true growth lies. When you finally realize this, it can completely change the way you approach your success. It's so easy to look at someone else's achievements and think that you should be where they are by now, or that you should have the same things they have. We all fall into that trap. And let's be honest, social media doesn't help. We see the highlights of other people's lives and start believing that we should be further along. But here's the truth. It's not about where someone else is. It's about where you're going. It's about the progress you're making, no matter how small it seems. The person you should be focused on is the one you see in the mirror every day. Ask yourself, how can I be better today than I was yesterday? That's the real question. And the only way to get better is to focus all your energy on being a better version of yourself. There will always be someone faster, smarter, richer, or more successful than you, and that's perfectly fine. Their success is not a reflection of your worth. Your success isn't determined by how you measure up to others. What matters is that you are moving forward. The competition is not with the world. It's with the person you were yesterday, the person who didn't push hard enough, who didn't take action, who let fear and doubt hold them back. Every single day, you have the opportunity to become a better version of yourself. It's not about racing against others. It's about running your own race at your own pace. And as long as you're improving, no matter how slowly, you're winning. Think about it. How often do you find yourself looking at others' achievements and feeling discouraged? They seem ahead of you. They have what you want. They're living the life you dream of. But here's the cold, hard truth. You're never going to catch up to someone else if you're constantly looking at them. All that time you spend comparing, All that energy you waste measuring yourself against others is time and energy that you're not using to improve yourself. It's like running on a treadmill, going as fast as you can but getting nowhere. The only way to make real progress is to take your eyes off everyone else and focus on yourself. How can you do better today? What can you do to improve right now? In this moment? It's not about anyone else. It's about you and the commitment you make to better yourself day after day. This isn't about perfection. It's about growth. You don't have to have everything figured out today. And you don't have to be the best at everything. But you do have to show up. You do have to commit to improving every single day. You get a little bit better. And that's the true measure of success. Not how you stack up against others, but how much better you are than you were the day before. Now that you understand the power of focusing on your own progress, let's talk about how to stay committed and make consistent improvements, no matter the challenges ahead. When you adopt this mindset, the small improvements will start to add up. Over time, you'll realize that the race isn't against anyone else. It's against your past self. And as long as you're making progress, no matter how small, you're winning. Here's something important to consider. By competing with yourself, you open up the possibility of celebrating your own progress, no matter how small it may seem. Instead of focusing on what you lack or where others are excelling, take a moment to appreciate the strides you've made. Even though it might feel like you're not exactly where you want to be yet, you're not where you were either. And that's progress. Maybe it's not the big leap you were hoping for, but it's movement in the right direction. And that's what truly matters. Every little step, every tiny improvement counts. So, give yourself credit for that. Recognize that it's not about perfection. It's about making consistent, positive progress, no matter how small. Now think about the pressure that comes from constantly comparing yourself to others. It's exhausting, isn't it? You end up feeling like you're never enough, like there's always more you should be doing or achieving. But when you turn the competition inward, you take that pressure off. It's no longer about meeting the expectations of the world around you. It's about meeting your own expectations for yourself. And guess what? When you stop competing with everyone else and start competing with yourself, you free up your energy to focus on what truly matters: your growth, your development, and your happiness. That's where the magic happens. When you realize that your only competition is the person you were yesterday, everything starts to change. People get caught up in the idea that success looks a certain way, and that there's one specific path everyone must follow to get there. But success isn't a one-size-fits-all thing. It's not about doing what everyone else is doing. It's about finding your own path, your own way, and staying focused on your personal growth. You have to carve out your own definition of success. What does success look like to you? Is it a big house, a fast car, or a bank account full of zeros? Or is it peace of mind, confidence in yourself, and knowing that you've done everything you could to become the best version of yourself? Only you can define what success means for you. And when you stop worrying about what everyone else is doing, you'll gain the clarity and focus you need to build your own path. The next time you find yourself looking at someone else's journey and feeling like you're not measuring up, stop. Take a deep breath and remind yourself, this is my journey, and I'm doing the best I can. My progress is my own. I don't need to compete with anyone else. The only thing that matters is that I'm moving forward. Keep your eyes on your own path. Focus on the person in the mirror and take pride in every step you take, no matter how small it may seem. The only competition that matters is the one you have with yourself. And as long as you're doing better today than you did yesterday, you're winning. We procrastinate, we put things off, and we tell ourselves we have all the time in the world to make things happen. But the harsh truth is, we don't. Time is slipping away right now, whether you're aware of it or not. If you're truly honest with yourself, you know this is true. Deep down, you realize that you've put things off, let days, months, and even years pass by, waiting for the perfect moment to start or for the right circumstances to fall into place. But here's the problem. The perfect moment never comes. The right circumstances won't just magically appear. Life doesn't slow down for you to get ready. It keeps moving forward, and you have to catch up. Time keeps ticking, and you're either using it or losing it. It's a simple reality that we all face. Think about it. How many things have you put off in your life? Maybe it's that career change you've been dreaming of, or starting the business you've always wanted. Maybe it's pursuing a passion that's been in the back of your mind for years. Whatever it is, chances are you've said, "I'll get to it eventually." But eventually never comes. Life keeps getting in the way. There's always something else to do, always another excuse, another reason to delay. But each time you delay, you're giving away precious time that you'll never get back. It's so easy to think you have all the time in the world. You wake up every day and the hours stretch ahead of you, seeming endless. But where does that time go? You get caught up in your daily routine, in distractions that fill your day, in things that seem urgent but aren't truly important. You tell yourself you'll work on that goal tomorrow, but tomorrow turns into next week, and next week turns into next month. Before you know it, years have gone by. And where are you now? Still in the same place, wishing you had done more with your time, but you're not alone. This happens to almost everyone at some point. We all think we'll have more time in the future, but the truth is, time waits for no one. The reason we act like time is unlimited is because we've never truly grasped just how fleeting it is. Here's your reality check. You're not going to be here forever. We all have an expiration date. It might sound harsh, but it's the truth. And when you come to terms with that, something inside you shifts. You start to realize just how much more precious every single moment is. Every minute you waste today is a minute you'll never get back. Every hour you spend doing something that doesn't move you closer to your goals is an hour that could have been spent building the life you want. Time doesn't wait for anyone. It doesn't care about your excuses. It just keeps moving, with or without you. But here's the good news. You have the power to change how you use your time. You can make better decisions, use your time more wisely, and work toward your goals every single day. It doesn't matter if you've wasted time in the past. What matters is what you do with the time you have left. This is your moment. The only moment you can control is the one you're in right now. So, what are you doing with it? Are you making the most of every opportunity? Are you taking action toward the life you want, or are you still waiting for the perfect moment that may never come? There's a quote that says, "The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now." Now that we've realized how precious time truly is, let's explore how you can take control of your time and start making progress toward your dreams today. As we've discussed, the second best time to start is now, and it's never too late to begin. Even if you've wasted time in the past, today is a new opportunity to take control and make the most of your time moving forward. What matters is what you do from this moment onward. If you commit to using your time wisely, staying focused, and putting in the work, you'll be surprised by how much you can accomplish in just a year. You might accomplish more than most people do in a decade, but it all starts with the realization that time is limited, and you can't afford to waste it any longer. One of the biggest reasons people waste time is fear. They're afraid to take risks, afraid of failure, and afraid of what others might think. But fear is just another thief of time. It keeps you stuck, holding you back from taking action. Fear keeps you in your comfort zone, where nothing happens, where nothing changes. And the longer you stay there, the more time slips through your fingers. The truth is, the only way to overcome fear is to face it head on. You cannot let fear dictate how you spend your time. You have to take control of your life, of your time, and use it to move toward the things that truly matter to you. It's not about avoiding fear, it's about using your time in spite of it. Another reason people waste time is because they're waiting for things to be perfect. They think they need everything to fall into place perfectly before they take action. But here's the truth. Nothing will ever be perfect. Life is messy, unpredictable, and things won't always go according to plan. But that doesn't mean you should wait. Waiting for the perfect moment is just another form of procrastination. The perfect moment will never come. The only moment you have is now. The only opportunity you have is today. So stop waiting and start doing. Take imperfect action. Learn as you go. Make mistakes, but keep moving forward. Every step you take brings you closer to your goals, and that's what matters. The bottom line is simple. Your time is limited. You can't afford to act like it's unlimited. Every day you waste is a day you'll never get back. Every hour you spend on things that don't move you forward is an hour you'll never recover. But here's the good news. It's not too late. You can start right now. You can make better choices. You can take control of your time. And if you start today, you'll look back in a year and see how much you've accomplished. You'll realize that every moment you invested in your goals was worth it. So, don't wait. Time doesn't wait for anyone. Use it wisely. Make the most of the time you have, and you'll find that your life will change in ways you never imagined. Now, let's talk about a major distraction that can derail your progress trying to be liked. This is something that starts early in life, doesn't it? As children, we're taught to seek validation from our parents, teachers, and friends. We're told that being liked is a good thing, that it means we're doing something right. But here's the catch. What happens when you start living your life based on other people's opinions? What happens when you become obsessed with being liked to the point where you sacrifice your own values, your own dreams, and your own identity just to fit in? This is where things go wrong, because the most dangerous distraction you can face in life is trying to be liked by everyone. It sounds harmless, right? Who doesn't want to be liked? But here's the problem. When you start chasing approval from everyone around you, you stop chasing your own goals. You stop being yourself. You become someone you think others will accept, not who you really are. As we've explored, constantly seeking approval from others can lead you astray, pulling you farther from your true self. Let's dive into how this need to be liked can hold you back and ultimately steal your power. When you're constantly trying to be liked, the person you become is far from the real you. This isn't just a minor issue. It's a massive distraction that can hold you back in ways you might not even realize. It's the kind of distraction that pulls you away from your purpose, making you settle for a life that doesn't even feel like your own. When you get caught up in trying to gain others' approval, your focus shifts from what you need to do for yourself to what others expect from you. You start asking questions like, what will they think of me? Or, how can I make them like me more? Instead of focusing on, what do I really want, and how am I going to get there? This shift is where you start to lose track of who you really are and what you want to accomplish in life. Your ambitions and your purpose take a back seat to everyone else's opinions. You begin to make decisions based on what others will say, not what aligns with your true heart and goals. And here's the kicker. Even when you try your hardest to please everyone around you, you can't. No matter how hard you try to be liked by everyone, there will always be someone who doesn't like you. There will always be someone who disapproves of your actions, your choices, or your ideas. The sooner you realize this, the sooner you can stop wasting time trying to win over people who aren't even worth your energy. Think about it for a second. How many times have you compromised your own values, your own standards, just to fit in with a group? How many times have you said yes to something you didn't want to do because you were afraid of being judged? How many times have you let the fear of being disliked stop you from speaking your truth or chasing after what you really want? These are the moments when you're letting the need to be liked distract you from your true path. Fear of rejection, fear of criticism, and the desire to be accepted by others are powerful forces. But here's the truth. They only have power if you let them. When you allow that fear to control you, you give away your power. You give away your ability to make decisions that are best for you, and instead, you let others dictate the course of your life. The reality is, you can't control what others think of you. You can't control whether they like you or not. People have their own opinions, their own biases, and their own perspectives. You could be the most genuine, kind, and hardworking person on the planet, but there will still be someone who doesn't like you, and that's okay. That's their problem, not yours. When you spend your energy trying to win the approval of everyone around you, you're spreading yourself thin, trying to be someone you're not. You can't be all things to all people. You are a unique individual, and that's what makes you valuable. You should never water yourself down just to fit into someone else's box. People who like you because you're pretending to be something you're not aren't your real friends anyway. True friends, true supporters, are the ones who like you for who you truly are. And when you start living in alignment with your true self, you'll start attracting the people who resonate with you, not the people who just want you to be someone else. It's not just about being liked by others. It's also about being liked by yourself. Have you ever stopped to think about that? How much time do you spend trying to gain the approval of others while neglecting to approve of yourself? The most important relationship you'll ever have is the one you have with yourself. If you can't stand in front of the mirror and say, "I like who I am and I'm proud of who I'm becoming," then you're giving away your power to the opinions of others. Trying to please everyone is a dangerous game to play. You spend your life chasing something that's fleeting, and in the process you lose sight of what truly matters, becoming the best version of yourself. But when you stop seeking the approval of others and start focusing on your own growth, everything shifts. You begin making decisions that are aligned with your values, your mission, and your purpose. You start to understand the importance of setting boundaries and saying no to things that don't serve your well-being. You realize that it's okay if some people don't like you, because you're no longer living for their approval. You're living for your own, and when you start living for your own approval, that's when you truly start to live. You get the chance to be authentic, to be real, and to show up every day as the person you were meant to be. That is a much more fulfilling way to live than constantly trying to please people who may never truly understand you. There's a quote I love: "You can't be everyone's cup of tea because you're not a mug." It's a simple idea, but so powerful. You are not here to fit into everyone else's mold. You're here to create your own path, to build your own life, and to attract the people who align with your vision. When you stop worrying about who likes you and start focusing on becoming the person you were meant to be, you'll be amazed at how everything begins to fall into place. You'll find that the people who truly matter, the ones who respect you for who you are, will start to show up. And the people who don't like you, well, they weren't meant to be part of your journey anyway. At the end of the day, trying to be liked by everyone is a losing game. It distracts you from your goals, keeps you from stepping into your full potential, and prevents you from living a life that is true to who you are. Don't let the fear of rejection or the desire for approval stop you from being who you are. Instead, focus on becoming the best version of yourself, and the right people and opportunities will come into your life. You'll realize that being liked by others was never the real goal. It was about being true to yourself all along. In a world where we're often told to prioritize others above ourselves, it can be hard to break free from that mindset. But it's essential to understand why putting yourself first is not just okay. It's necessary. From a young age, we're taught that putting ourselves first is somehow wrong. We hear phrases like, "Don't be selfish," or "Think of others first." And while these are noble values, they don't always serve us in the long run. Yes, we should be kind, compassionate, and generous toward others, but not at the expense of our own well-being. When you consistently put everyone else's needs ahead of your own, when you prioritize other people's opinions and desires over your own, what happens? You end up drained. You feel unfulfilled, constantly chasing after other people's dreams and abandoning your own. You're left wondering why your life doesn't feel right, why you feel stuck, or why things aren't progressing the way you hoped they would. Here's the truth. You can't give your best to others unless you're giving your best to yourself first. If you're not in a good place emotionally, physically, and mentally, how can you truly be the best version of yourself for your loved ones, your job, or your community? Think about it for a moment. When you wake up in the morning, do you immediately think about what you can do for others? Or do you think about what you need to do to feel good, to be energized, to be at your best? Your day should start with you. It's okay to check in with yourself, to assess how you're feeling, and to plan for what will truly benefit you. We live in a world where people are constantly telling us how we should live, what we should do, what we should prioritize, and who we should be. But when you take a step back and focus on what matters most to you, your goals, your happiness, your health, that's when you start to take control of your life in a way that brings real fulfillment. And here's the beautiful part. When you start putting yourself first, the world around you shifts. People begin to respect you more. They see that you have boundaries, that you know what you need, and that you're not willing to sacrifice your well-being just to meet their expectations. And when you do give, when you do show up for others, you do it from a place of abundance and joy, not from obligation or exhaustion. Now, let's talk about the impact this shift has on your goals. Every time you choose to prioritize yourself, you're taking one step closer to the life you've always dreamed of. Have you ever found yourself putting your dreams on hold for others? Maybe because you didn't want to disappoint someone, or perhaps because you were afraid of what others might think. When you do that, you're telling yourself that their needs are more important than your own. You're putting their opinions above your purpose. And here's the truth. When you continue doing that over and over again, you'll find yourself years down the road looking back and wondering, where did the time go? You'll realize that you've been living for others, not for yourself. Putting yourself first means taking responsibility for your own happiness and success. It means saying, this is my life. I get to choose what I do with it, and I'm going to make decisions that align with my vision for my future. The more you do this, the more momentum you build. You get closer to your dreams because you're no longer living for the approval of others or stuck in a cycle of trying to please everyone else. Your time and energy will be directed toward your own growth, your own success, and your own happiness. And the more you focus on these things, the more you'll see real progress, real results, and true fulfillment in your life. It's also important to recognize the role that putting yourself first plays in building self-esteem. When you start prioritizing yourself, you not only improve your life, but you also begin to see yourself as worthy of success, love, and happiness. When you neglect your own needs for the sake of others, it directly impacts your self-worth and confidence. Now let's explore how putting yourself first can change your life. When you constantly neglect your own needs in favor of other people's desires, you start to lose confidence in yourself. You might feel guilty for taking time for yourself or for saying no to someone else's request. But the reality is, setting boundaries and caring for yourself is not only healthy, it's necessary. When you make decisions that align with what's best for you, you're sending a powerful message to yourself. I'm worthy. My needs are important. And that's the message you need to send to yourself every single day. When you put yourself first, you teach yourself that you matter, that your happiness is worth pursuing, and that your goals are worth working for. You stop looking outside of yourself for validation and start realizing that you're enough just as you are. You begin to trust yourself more, to make better decisions, and to believe in your own potential. Your confidence grows because you know that you're not putting anyone else's happiness or needs ahead of your own at the expense of your well-being. This shift allows you to truly show up for yourself in ways that will propel you toward your goals and desires. Now let's talk about relationships. We've all heard that relationships require sacrifice, And while that's true, there's a difference between sacrifice and self-sacrifice. If you're always putting your partner's or friends' needs above your own, what happens when you feel drained, resentful, or unappreciated? Relationships can become one-sided, and over time that imbalance can lead to bitterness, frustration, and burnout. But when you put yourself first, you bring your best self into your relationships. You're happier, more fulfilled, and more present because you're not running on empty. By taking care of your own needs first, you have more to give to those you care about. This doesn't mean you're selfish. It means you're creating healthy boundaries and showing up as the best version of yourself. Healthy relationships are built on mutual respect, where both parties are taking care of their own well-being and supporting each other's growth. When you put yourself first, you create the space for these kinds of relationships to flourish. Every time you choose to put yourself first, you make a decision that brings you closer to the life you want. It's not an overnight shift, but it is a powerful one. The more you prioritize your health, happiness, and goals, the more you'll see the life you've always dreamed of unfolding before you. So stop waiting for permission. Stop feeling guilty for taking care of yourself. Start today by choosing to put yourself first, and watch how everything around you begins to change. What really matters is the work you do right now. It's the choices you make, the habits you build, and the consistency you develop, even when things are tough or when you don't feel like pushing forward. Every single decision you make, every day that you continue to move forward, and every time you choose to invest in your future, instead of giving in to immediate gratification, you are building the version of yourself that will ultimately succeed. I know it's tempting to look at someone who's achieved great things and think that they got lucky. Maybe they know the right people. Maybe they were born into the right circumstances. Or maybe they just had some fortunate break that got them where they are. But here's the truth. Even if they had a break, even if they had an opportunity that got them started, it was their effort, their consistency, and their refusal to give up that made them successful in the long run. Success doesn't just come from talent or luck. It comes from the work you put in when no one's watching. When progress isn't immediately visible, and when you feel like you've hit a wall, it's the work you do during those times that builds your success. Every time you get up in the morning and choose to work on yourself, you're adding another brick to the foundation of the life you're building. You won't see immediate results. In fact, some days you might feel like you're moving backward, like nothing is changing at all. But that's part of the process. The most important thing is that you keep going. When you're focused on building something great, you need to realize that the journey is just as important as the destination. Every day you show up and put in the work, you're taking another step closer to that version of yourself that's been winning all along. Success is built on habits, routines, and actions that compound over time. The effort you put in today might seem small, even insignificant, but over time that effort multiplies and the results start to show up. It's like planting a seed. You don't expect the tree to grow overnight, but with consistent care over time, that small seed will turn into something powerful. The version of you that wins is the one who's committed to showing up every single day, doing the work, and refusing to quit when things get tough. Success doesn't come easily, but you have what it takes to get there. Here's the truth. You're capable of achieving far more than you realize, but the only way to unlock that potential is by taking consistent action. You can't wait for motivation to strike, because motivation is fleeting. Some days you'll feel motivated, and some days you won't. But if you rely on motivation alone, your progress will always be unpredictable. What really matters is discipline. It's the ability to do the hard work even when you don't feel like it. It's about making the tough choices even when they're not popular, and continuing to push forward even when the road gets rocky. The version of you that wins is built on discipline, on making the right choices day in and day out, even when it feels like there's no immediate reward. Think about it. Where you are today is the result of your choices, habits, and actions up until now. If you're not where you want to be, it's simply because your choices haven't lined up with where you want to go. And that's okay. It doesn't mean you've failed. It just means today is the perfect day to start making better choices. Every new day is an opportunity to build the version of you that wins. You don't have to wait for everything to be perfect. You don't have to wait for the right time. The best time to start is now. What truly matters is that you start making small, intentional choices today that will lead to bigger changes down the road. As we've discussed, success doesn't come overnight. It's something you create through consistent effort. Now let's delve deeper into the work you must put in to bring your dreams to life. You can't just wake up one day and expect everything to fall into place. You have to create the life you want. The success you're chasing doesn't just appear out of thin air. It's the result of the habits you build, the consistency you develop, and the decisions you make day in and day out. It's about showing up, doing the work, and trusting that even when things don't seem to be progressing, you're still moving forward. The truth is, every small step you take today, no matter how insignificant it may seem, is one step closer to that version of you that's winning, thriving, and living the life you've always wanted. And here's the thing. No one can build that version of you for you. You have to do it yourself. It's easy to look at someone else's success and think they had it easier, or maybe they were born with an advantage. But what you don't see is the countless hours of work, sacrifice, and commitment that went into getting them where they are. Success isn't handed to anyone. It's earned through effort, perseverance, and the willingness to push through the tough times. So, if you want to be the version of yourself that wins, you have to take ownership of your journey. You have to take responsibility for the decisions you make, for the actions you take, and for the work you put in. Every time you make a choice that aligns with your goals, every time you take action, even when it's hard, you're building the version of yourself that's capable of achieving everything you've ever dreamed of. And that version of you isn't some distant, unreachable dream. It's something you're creating every single day with the work you put in, the habits you build, and the consistency you maintain. The key to success is simple. Don't wait for it to find you. Go out and create it day by day with every choice you make, with every action you take. Keep building, keep growing, and keep showing up for yourself. Because the version of you that wins isn't out there waiting for you to discover it. It's something you're building every single day. And the more consistent you are, the closer you get to the life you truly want. As we wrap up, remember this. Your future is built by the choices you make today. Every step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to the life you want to live. Focus on you, invest in yourself, and stay committed to your growth. Success isn't a matter of luck. It's the result of consistent effort, daily decisions, and the courage to keep moving forward. So no matter where you're starting from or what challenges you face, keep your focus sharp and your vision clear. The only person who can hold you back is you. You have everything you need to succeed, and the only thing standing between you and your dreams is the decision to commit to yourself, starting now. Keep believing in yourself, keep working on your growth, and stay focused. Your success is waiting for you. Go out and claim it. With this foundation of self-belief and determination, let's explore the importance of cultivating a mindset that stays focused, no matter the obstacles in your path.